I'm tracking rain hour by hour for tonight, and that's just the first of multiple fronts set to impact us. Wind temperatures tank again.
Then, neglecting North Carolina nursing homes.
Do you feel like you've been abandoned?
Yes, I absolutely do.
How a new audit says the state is failing to protect people in local facilities. And a fight for fairness. North Carolina's Lumbee tribe one step closer to federal recognition. We go in depth on why some senators and other tribes are trying to stop it. So here comes the rain. Check out the radar. This system is out to our west right now, but in the next couple of hours, it's going to move into our area. Thanks for being here with us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. So rain on the way. You might hear some thunder rumbling tonight as you're getting ready to go to bed. We don't expect anything severe, though. Kat Campbell joining us now. The chances really pick up around 10 o'clock, Kat.
Right, Dan. It's going to be late tonight that we've got the best shot at some showers and storms. There's been some lightning to our west, nothing severe to our west as this moves in, and there have been some showers around Sampson County, but the main event is this. Notice how it's not a solid line. I don't think everybody's going to see rain tonight, and it's not going to be very much rain. Nevertheless, it's showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder mixed in. A little bit of activity possible ahead of the main front, but that moves in late tonight and could last through midnight, maybe as late as 1 a.m. in the Triangle and in our eastern counties. East of I-95, we could see a few showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder linger through about 3 a.m. But by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be nice and dry. I don't expect the fog threat that we've had the past several mornings. But there is a key part to tomorrow's forecast. If you open your phone, you're going to see that it's going to be a pretty mild day, upper 50s to lower 60s. That is at midnight. It's going to be cooler than that during the afternoon, so you should dress more for the upper 40s to lower 50s. We're going to talk more about that coming up.
This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center, watching developments out of Washington, D.C. tonight about a controversial bill that will fund the government through March and avert a government shutdown as early as Friday. Now, this has been something that the House has been working on, a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, but a growing number of Republicans, including President-elect Donald Trump, kind of throwing the flag on this, saying that they don't want some of the other items that have been added to the bill. And that has some people concerned that disaster relief money may come out of that continuing resolution before the House votes on it. North Carolina's two senators are speaking out about it. Tom Tillis put on X earlier this afternoon that he'll use every tool available, he says, to block a CR, continuing resolution, that fails Western North Carolina communities in need of long-term certainty. We're talking about a lot of money to help North Carolinians and others affected by disasters get back on their feet. Also, Ted Budd writing on X this evening that no CR without disaster relief for Western North Carolina. So he is saying that he would not support a bill that would remove that disaster relief money. It doesn't look like any vote is coming tonight as those negotiations continue.
Okay, thank you, Brian. A Raleigh store owner found guilty of manslaughter, a bust in a counterfeit AirPod scheme, and a big move from the Federal Reserve. If you're just getting to the news, let's get you caught up. Here are 5 things you should know right now. Verdict reached in the convenience store murder trial. A jury has found Raleigh store owner Tazir Zarka guilty of voluntary manslaughter. He stabbed customer Mark Garrity in an altercation over a Gatorade he believed Garrity stole from the store on South Wilmington Street in April 2023. Sentencing is set for tomorrow morning. 2 men from New York are facing charges accused of returning fake Apple AirPods to the store for cash. Yaqing Chao and Lin Shan were arrested in Garner Tuesday. Police say they focused their scheme at a Target and Walmart. When they were stopped, Garner police found 42 pairs of counterfeit AirPods and more than $11,000 in cash. A 17-year-old boy is dead following a late-night shooting in a South Durham neighborhood. This happened around 11 p.m. off South Roxborough Street. Detectives and forensics spent nearly 12 hours at that scene. So far, no arrests have been made.
Civil rights leader and Yale professor Bishop William Barber is suing AMC Theaters. The legal action stems from an incident last December when Barber and his mother were at an AMC. Barber says staff tried to stop him from using a specialized chair for his medical condition. The staff called police, had him escorted out of the building. AMC's chief executive apologized to Barber soon after. No word on how much the suit is seeking. The Federal Reserve slashed its key interest rate by 1/4 point. It's the third cut this year. The Fed also signaled that it expects to make fewer cuts next year than it previously thought. Policymakers predicted 2 cuts in 2025 at 1/4 point each. So this may not have the impact on mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, that sort of thing that some people were hoping for. The state is failing in its oversight of nursing homes. That's the conclusion of a new state audit of the Department of Health and Human Services. It found a backlog of late inspections and slow investigations into nursing home complaints. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie asked State Health Secretary Cody Kinsley about this problem today.
Many of us know what it's like to have concerns about how a loved one is being cared for in a nursing facility. Well, today we learned that the state is not doing what it's required to do to make sure those facilities are meeting basic standards. A new state audit found that from 2021 to 2023, 4 out of 10 nursing home complaints, even serious ones like abuse or neglect, were not investigated within the 60-day window required in state law. Regular inspections were even worse. 2/3 of those were late. And the state didn't follow up on problems as required by law 1/3 of the time.
Does that surprise you to hear?
Not one bit. That is the truth. I know that to be a fact.
For 2 years now, Barbara Pascal says she's received poor treatment at her Durham nursing home, missed medications, wrong medications, being left to sit in her own waste for hours. After we brought you her story in September, she said she got a call from DHHS, but no one ever came to investigate, even after other stories unveiled abuse and neglect at the facility.
Do you feel like you've been abandoned?
Yes, I absolutely do. I am so forlorn. I lay in my bed day after day after day and cry.
It breaks my heart when we cannot respond as well as we want to.
State Health Secretary Cody Kinsley did not dispute the audit's findings. He said his agency has suffered from high vacancy and turnover rates and is doing the best it can with the people it has. Lawmakers have not agreed to give him more.
We fight so hard to get the resources necessary to do it, but in the end, that's never going to be a good answer for Barbara, and we're going to keep fighting until we can improve that.
Barbara Pascal says something has to change soon for her sake and for the other residents.
There are many patients in our facility that cannot speak for themselves. They don't know they're being mistreated. They don't know they have a right to do things a different way. They don't know they have a right to be treated better.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
And Laura contacted the facility where Barbara Pascal lives for some comment here. Carver Rehabilitation, it's in Durham, didn't respond to our request. We have reported quite a bit of problems, though, we should say, at that facility.
Another venue in our area is getting a new name. This time, the soccer stadium in Cary, the home of the North Carolina Courage and the NCFC. No longer will it be called WakeMed Soccer Stadium. It'll now be First Horizon Stadium and WakeMed Soccer Park. It's a multi-year deal, the terms of which haven't been released. And there's plenty to like about the stadium. It hosts 2 professional teams, recently hosted the NCAA College Cup, and for the last 2 years hosted the soccer tournament. The new name takes effect for the 2025 NWSL season. Now, of course, this isn't the stadium's first name change, and the deal announced today is just one part of a wider trend. So let's take a look at the history and the context and answer the question, how did we get here? For starters, the soccer park first opened in 2002. No naming rights then, it was just known as State Capitol Soccer Park. In 2004,
It's the most wonderful time. It is that time of year. Again, here we are, the biannual Wish Upon a Star for the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Could this be the year that Congress actually puts that gift that they've been wanting under the Christmas tree, that gift of federal recognition, a gift that comes with billions in federal dollars, a gift that's been on the Lumbee wish list for 136 years? Just last night, the U.S. House passed a bill that could make it happen, the Lumbee Fairness Act. We should mention this bill has made it in front of the last 14 Congresses, and it's passed the House before but they need the Senate. They always have. This time, though, Senator Budd and Tillis, they went to bat for them. They put out a joint statement. It says, we will continue to do everything we can to get the Lumbee the full federal recognition they deserve. And lots of people feel the same way. In fact, 230 other tribes support this. You might be surprised to know it's one of the only things that President Biden and President-elect Trump actually agree on. So, looks like this might be happening. Finally, the wish is going to be granted. Bah humbug. You see, not everyone supports the Lumbee tribe, like a lot of other tribes. This is a statement from the principal chief of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. He writes, allowing this bill to pass would harm tribal nations across the country. I didn't see that coming. Why is that exactly? Well, it turns out many tribes, and in turn lawmakers, believe the Lumbee Fairness Act is anything but fair. You see, to get official recognition and those sweet, sweet federal dollars that come with the deal, tribes must pass through the Office of Federal Acknowledgement. It's a rigorous process, and the Lumbee tribe checks many of those boxes, but not all of them. The chief of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians continues, the Lumbee cannot even specify which historical tribe they descend from, and that's generally true. The Lumbee say that they are descended from some combination of several different tribes. They've also gone by several different names since 1885. The Croatan, the Indians of Robeson County, the Cherokee Indians of Robeson County, and in 1953 they settled on Lumbee. And all of this has forced them to take the road less traveled by taking their case through Congress. They want lawmakers to make an exception for them, something Congress has done before. Most recently, they did it for a tribe to get federal recognition, the Little Shell Tribe of Chippewa Indians of Montana. Congress approved their recognition back in 2019, so it's happened. So why them, though, and not the Lumbee tribe? Well, it kind of comes down to money. Big surprise. That tribe in Montana, they only have 6,000 members. The Lumbee tribe has more like 60,000 members. You see, recognized tribes get money and they get rights. And the tribes that have it don't really want to share it, especially with a group as large as the Lumbee. The federal government gives billions of dollars to tribes across the country, money that helps them to pay for things like public safety and social services and education. And recognized tribes also have a lot of control over their land and what they can do with it. For instance, North Carolina law doesn't allow casinos. We know that, but we have them, don't we? We have tribal casinos run by the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians and the Catawba Indian Nation. They have casinos. Recognizing the Lumbees could open the door to some competition. In a state, I should say, that won't even pass medical marijuana here in North Carolina, that battle's been going on forever, you can buy it here. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians sells recreational marijuana. The Lumbees want their piece of the pie, and many tribes, especially those out west, aren't really keen to share. So think of it this way. Right now, there are 574 federally recognized American Indian tribes in the U.S., all sharing federal money. 229 of those tribes, about 40%, are in Alaska. And right now, Alaska's 229 tribes are made up of roughly 100,000 people. That means at 60,000 people, the Lumbee tribe alone would be getting a pretty big slice of the pie, right? And that's why, despite all the support from President Biden, President Trump, the House, Senators Tillis, Budd, it usually comes down to a Western senator who just won't budge. If they want to keep their jobs, that is. They have to say no. Look at this map. It shows the indigenous population in the U.S. by percentage of population. So the darker green, the greater their numbers. Look at all the green out west. These tribes have a lot of pull. In California, they have opposed sports betting initiatives, and it's one of the big reasons why one of the largest, wealthiest, most populated, most liberal states in the country still doesn't allow online sports betting. The tribal casinos don't want to lose their hold on all of that. Like I said, they have some pull. So will this be the year for the Lumbee tribe to get their wish? I don't know. Probably not. Let me know what you think. Send me an email, dan@WRAL.com. Should Congress make an exception? Or do you kind of level with the other tribes here? What stories generally do you want to see us cover here in depth on the news in general here at 7 o'clock? We do things differently. We've been on a roll here with these in depths too, 3 in a row. You tired of me yet? Your feedback brings this segment to life. So tell me what is on your mind and we will go in depth.
Like all things, Dan, just follow the money and you'll get the answer, right? So, Kat, we have been enjoying these mild temperatures. Boy, people have been out in shorts, T-shirts over the last couple of days. That's all about to change.
Not tomorrow. No T-shirts tomorrow. You're going to be in your jacket. You're going to need that. And if you're like me, it was actually warmer outside than my home. I open up the windows, let in some fresh air. Close your windows before you head to bed tonight. 2 reasons. We've got some rain filling in, and we're also going to be tracking the colder temperatures that start to fill in. So let's take a look. 49 tomorrow for the low. Not too bad, but as we get into Friday morning, we're back in the 30s. 24 Sunday morning, 21 Monday morning, and 25 Tuesday morning, Christmas Eve morning. A nice festive chill in the air Wednesday morning. For Christmas Day, temperatures should be in the mid-30s, which is pretty good. It's cool, but not too cold. A live look outside tonight at the WRAL TV tower. No rain coming down just yet. 66. You know the cold front hasn't passed yet because the wind is still out of the south, that warming wind in place. Once it shifts out of the north, that's when you know the cold front has passed. And here comes the cold. You can see it. 29 in Chicago, 21 Minneapolis, still 66 here in Raleigh. But the cold front is getting closer. We have had some storms south and east of the triangle tonight. Still, the main chance for rain is off to our west. So let's zoom in here on the radar. We do have one storm that's closing in on Goldsboro. It's teeny tiny though, and a couple other showers and rumbles of thunder in Sampson County. Nothing imminent for Wake County at the moment, but we're going to be watching this activity as it moves in a bit later on this evening and into tonight. So heads up, you may hear some rain on your roof as you head to bed tonight, maybe a rumble of thunder early on, but we see that clear out by tomorrow morning, and we'll still have a lot of clouds tomorrow, but not too bad. Now, tomorrow's high.
One last thing before we go. A special award today honored the UNC wide receiver who died from stage 4 lung cancer.
Yeah, Tylee Kraft died this fall. His teammates and coach Mac Brown learned about it during a game. Kraft will be receiving the Capital One Orange Bowl Football Writers Association of America Courage Award. Kraft will be honored during the Capital One Orange Bowl in January, which is one of the college football playoff semifinals this year. That'll mean a lot, I think, to the whole team.
Deservingly so. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL.
Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.